Hey everyone! Today we are diving into a tool that's pretty much flipping the script on how we build software. It's called Lovable, and the big promise is that you can turn your ideas into actual working apps just by using your words. No code. All right, let's get into it.
You know the feeling, right? You're in the shower, on a walk, and bam, you get that flash of inspiration for an app that you just know people would love. Maybe it's a simple little tool to track your freelance work, or maybe it's an app that tells you what to cook with the random stuff you have in your fridge. You can see the whole thing in your head, but then reality kicks in. How do you actually, build it?
Yeah, that gap between a brilliant idea and a real product can feel like a massive canyon. Traditional development takes forever, it can cost a small fortune, and you usually need a whole team of engineers just to get version 1 out the door. And that's exactly the problem that this new wave of tools is trying to fix.
Which brings us right to our first section. We're going to look at how we can close that gap, how we can go from just a thought, like our recipe app, to a real, clickable application almost in an instant. Now, the big idea powering all of this is something called vibe coding. It's a term from AI researcher Andrej Karpathy, and it's all about changing your role. You're no longer the person writing every single line of code. Instead, you're more like a director. You describe the vision, the feel, the vibe of what you want, and the AI handles the nitty-gritty execution. You're not the coder, you're directing the coder.
So for this explainer, we're going to put on our product manager hats. Our job isn't to write the code, it's to be crystal clear about the what and the why. We're going to take that idea for our leftover to recipe app and walk through how we can actually guide it from a concept into a working prototype that we can share with people.
And the workflow here is, well, it's almost shockingly simple. First, you just describe what you want to build in plain English. For our app, we might say, hey, create a page, put a text box on it where someone can type in ingredients, and underneath add a button that shows them recipe cards. Then you literally watch it appear, and you start refining it, just like you're having a conversation. And when you're happy, you deploy it with one click. That's it. Describe, refine, ship. It's the new blueprint for getting ideas out there fast. Okay, so if the AI is doing all the building, our main job as product managers totally shifts. It becomes all about one thing, crafting the perfect prompt, because the quality of what you tell it is directly tied to the quality of what it builds. And this is so important. As the YouTuber Blumbuilds points out, that very first thing you type in, that's everything. It's not just about getting the first version to look right. It's about giving the AI a roadmap, a long-term plan, so it builds a solid foundation that you can actually add to later without the whole thing falling apart. So how do you actually do that? This 4-part framework is a total lifesaver. First, you just state what you want, nice and simple. Then you give it the context, the why, so the AI can make smarter choices. Third, and this is the secret sauce, you give it the long-term direction. Think about features you might want down the line so it designs a database that's ready for them. And finally, you can toss in some minor UI ideas just to guide the look and feel.
Let's see what this looks like in practice, right? Let's take our recipe app. A messy prompt would be something like, add a way for users to save recipes. The AI might do something, but who knows what. A structured prompt, though, is a different beast. It's specific. Create a favorites feature. Put a star icon on every recipe card. When a user clicks it, save that recipe's ID to a table called user_favorites. Then, make a new page called My Favorites that shows a grid of all their saved recipes. You see the difference? That clarity saves you so much time and, honestly, a lot of headaches.
So we know how to talk to Lovable, but what is it actually building for us? Let's pop the hood for a minute and see what kind of tech is making all of this happen.
Turns out every app that Lovable builds has the same DNA. The part you see, the front end, is built with really modern, standard tools, React and Tailwind CSS. But the real magic, the secret weapon, is the back end. Lovable uses Supabase, which is this amazing platform that bundles everything you need, a database, file storage, user authentication, you name it, all in one place. And that's what lets the AI spit out a full, working app so ridiculously fast.
And this slide right here shows why that's such a big deal. In a classic app, your web browser talks to an application server you have to build and maintain, which then talks to your database. It's a lot of moving parts. Lovable just simplifies the whole thing. The browser talks directly to the Supabase backend. It's a 2-tier model, and because there are fewer pieces, it's way easier for an AI to build and change things on the fly.
Okay, so you might be thinking, wait a minute. If the browser talks straight to the database, what stops me from seeing someone else's favorite recipes? And that is a great question. The answer is something called row-level security, or RLS. These are basically rules you set inside the database itself that say a user can only see or edit rows that belong to them.
Now, here's the crazy part. Lovable's AI helps you write these security rules. It's incredibly powerful, but it also means you're putting a lot of trust in a large language model to get your security right.
All right, it all sounds amazing on paper, but what's it actually like to use this thing in the real world? Let's get into a bit of a reality check and hear what actual users have to say.
When you look at reviews from places like Product Hunt, a really clear pattern shows up. On one hand, people are blown away by the speed. I mean, you can build a clean, great-looking minimum viable product, an MVP, in a few hours instead of weeks. But on the other hand, people say the AI can be buggy. Sometimes it gets stuck in a loop trying to fix itself, which can chew through your credits pretty fast. It's fantastic for simple stuff, but it can get tripped up on more complex logic.
This quote from a founder on Product Hunt really just nails it. Lovable is an incredible tool for getting started, for quickly testing out an idea to see if it has legs. But when it comes to bigger, more serious projects, a lot of builders find themselves moving back to more traditional coding setups. It's a tool for starting the race, not necessarily for running the entire marathon.
And that brings up a really important point. Lovable doesn't exist in a bubble. It's one piece of a whole new toolbox of AI-powered builders that are popping up, and each one has its own strengths.
This chart is super helpful for seeing where everything fits. You've got Lovable over here, with really high AI integration for building the whole app, which makes it super accessible. Then you have something like Softer, which is amazing for turning a spreadsheet into an app. Or Bolt, which is more for pro devs who want AI to help them write code faster. And of course, Bubble, the visual dev giant, which is just now starting to bring in more AI. Every tool has its place.
So with all of that in mind, how do you know if a tool like Lovable is actually the right fit for you and your idea? Let's talk about your next move.
Lovable really shines for a few key groups of people. If you're a founder, but you can't code and you just need to see if your idea is any good, it's a total game changer. If you're a product manager like us, you can build a real, interactive prototype instead of just a flat design. Designers can make UIs that actually work, and even pro developers can use it to spin up simple internal tools without all the usual hassle.
So ultimately, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. It all comes down to a trade-off. With Lovable, you get absolutely incredible, unmatched speed for prototyping and building those first versions. But in exchange, you're giving up some of the deep-level control and complexity you would need for a huge, enterprise-scale application. It's built for speed, not necessarily for a massive, long-term system.
And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. If tools like Lovable keep getting better and better, and the AI starts handling more and more of the actual code, what does that mean for us? Is it possible that the most valuable skill for a creator in the future won't be writing perfect code, but the ability to perfectly and clearly describe the vision of what needs to be built? It's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for watching.